up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Copple Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break, full show ahead. Sean Callahan, next segment, and Sip at 7:30. Jeff Patrikas, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel today.
How'd you pull that off?
I texted him. He responded pretty quickly, saying, yeah, let's do that.
God.
He's a busy man, covering the whole Wisconsin situation. Jim Leonard, the interim head coach, covering a coaching search there, potentially just at one person. We'll discuss exactly what the heck's going on at Wisconsin with Jeff Patrikas at 7:30 today.
So we have Sean Callahan and Jeff Patrikas on.
Yes.
Say no more.
That is a Wednesday show, my friend.
Yeah, some people just say to you, say no more.
I'm done. I've spoken what I've had to today, and I'm out.
Say no more,
We'll let
literally.
those guys talk the rest of the day.
Say no more, literally. No, you got to talk. You got to shout.
Oh, okay. Well,
You got to do your
I was
normal
done for a
shouting.
second. Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Should I say good morning to the people?
Yes, you should.
Should we talk to the people?
That'd be kind of you to do.
Do we
so.
talk to ourselves or do we talk to our listeners?
We talk to everybody.
Both.
It's a collective thing. We are the listeners and the people in
We
charge.
don't have a producer.
No. I'm yeah, we don't.
Sore subject.
I've been getting here about 20 minutes earlier than usual to get some things done ahead of the show.
When do we get a producer?
I don't know. These are things I don't have the answer to.
Gus,
I hear that we have somebody close, but I don't know.
Gus has disappeared.
Yeah, well, Gus is gone. I mean, from the show. He
He's
left.
not-
He didn't tell us he was leaving, but he's gone. Thank you for your service, Gus. If you're listening, appreciate that. But you could have said bye to us on your way out.
Gus is no longer.
Yeah, with us.
He's young and he's alive.
Yes, he is. He's still in college.
Yes.
402-464-5685. Call or text. As always, you can always watch and comment on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. The show sponsored by Gaina Trucking. Check out their current job openings at GainaTrucking.com. Okay. Sip, yesterday was pretty interesting from the coordinators, Bill Busch and Mark Whipple. We'll start with Whip, who, man,
what?
he speaks his mind, and I appreciate that.
He
doesn't hold back.
He got loose yesterday, didn't he?
He did.
He got loose. Sometimes when Whipple's talking, I just stand there going, is he really saying this? Does he know he's talking to media?
Well, I've got 3 different clips of audio from Mark Whipple from yesterday because I think it's important to hear these things, not just hear what we say. Here's Mark Whipple himself about several things here.
Okay, now wait a second. Where do you want to start with?
Well,
this?
I can do the one about where he mentions the bleep word at the end.
Wait on that one.
Okay, win the West, or
wait on that one.
Okay, the offense's job is to score touchdowns.
That one.
All right, here's Mark Whipple regarding the offense's job to score touchdowns. Mark Whipple himself from yesterday.
For this offense, it's frustrated me, and because there's been, I think, 4 games we've taken the ball and scored the first drive, and then they just act like, well, yeah, okay, I'm like, we don't, nothing against their defense. We don't have this 86 Bears defense. Okay, your job's to score touchdowns, and they just like. You you go 3 plays or whatever, we go 70 yards, and then you just start making mistakes. So, and my frustration a little bit was taken out on Casey, but he knows that I love him, and that part. And I think you can't do that with everybody, but he handled it really well, and he responded. He responded, and the team responded in the second half. But that's my expectations just seem at times to be higher than our guys that are playing, and that's frustrating.
All right.
That is the key. Well, there's a lot of keys to that, but that last part was what really raised eyebrows, right? That he feels like his expectations are higher than the guys who are playing. He was asked to follow up on that. I don't know if you have that or not. He said, I don't know if the players really think we can win every game. We're good enough. He said, I'm not a genius, but we can win these games.
Okay, I think that's the win the West one, right?
I think so. Yes.
Okay,
go.
Let's
go.
hear. That was your version. Here's Mark Whipple's version himself of that.
We're good enough, I think. Okay, I'm not a genius, but we can win. We can win 7 games. We can win these games. All right, we already threw away 3 of them. I mean, Oklahoma kicked our rear, but I said, that's the expectation. Is like, hey, not just to go to a bowl game. We can win the West. That's what it is. So you're in first place. Act like it and play like it. So that's. But it, again, takes time. But hey, I'm a realist. If we don't get there, I'm not going to be here anyways. So I told them that. And we win the West. I'll ride Mickey's coattails.
And there's one of your comments. You think you can't believe he's saying it when he says it, but he doesn't care. He's just being truthful.
Yeah, exactly.
If we don't win, I probably won't be here.
Yeah, and I wasn't making fun of Mark at all. It's very refreshing to hear this. It's very refreshing. You know what, Jake? I don't want to blow our 7 a.m. topic. We can revisit this. You don't think about, we don't think about the stuff we're saying and how it affects other people. We don't need to. We shouldn't. But if I were a player and I would hear the narrative out there, if I were a Nebraska player hearing the narrative like last week, well, if they don't win this game, they're going to unravel. This team is terrible. This defense is historically bad. This team is, the coach got fired. Can't recruit. His biggest thing was he can't recruit. You hear all that. That's incredibly negative.
I'm sure it is.
That's incredibly negative, right?
The conversation's naturally negative when there's people fired in the middle of the season.
Right, and they're losing. But that's why I think it's really important for Mickey and Bush and Whipple to probably counter that, right? And it's probably informative to everybody that if the narrative outside is so negative and damning and glum, that it's inevitably going to affect the players, which it apparently is, because of what Whipple said. I want them to believe in themselves as much as I believe in them. Okay, and I would ask you, how could they? How could they possibly? Just based not only on the results on the field, but what they hear outside it. They're only human. So I think it does make sense, and we've been talking about this for a couple weeks now, and you made fun of me, but I said behind the scenes, Mickey's doing all he can to pump confidence into him. And I know what you said. Well, of course, that's what coaches do. That's what they do.
I was about to do it right there. I was about to do it. Thank you for beating me to my own punch here.
But anyway.
Yeah, I'd hope a coach would.
We can win the West, Whipple says. You're in first place. Act like it. Play like it. I think he's probably frustrated. I don't know, he said, if they really think they can win it every game. We're good enough, I think. I'm not a genius, but we can win these games. If you just look at the next 2, they're probably going to be close games, right?
Well, think about the confidence. So let's say number 1, you beat Rutgers, you win a road game. Okay, that's a step. Okay,
if they beat Rutgers, this is going to get weird.
Oh, I know. We'll have a conversation later. But then, okay, so you beat Rutgers, who is not the best team in the Big Ten, but But then if you go, but it's a road game. But then if you go beat Purdue, who is considered still right now very much so a contender to win the West, they could be the favorite. They just beat the favorite last week in Minnesota by 10 on the road. So they might be right now perceived as the favorite at this moment. What if you beat them on the road? Then it gets extremely weird.
Then you get a break.
It's weird if you beat Rutgers. It's extremely weird if you beat Purdue.
Then you get a break, a bye. And then Illinois comes to town, and that's looking like a night game.
Another one.
It could get really weird.
Yeah.
Even if you lose to Purdue, beat Rutgers, lose to Purdue, and then beat Illinois, it's still getting weird. Let's get weird.
It's already weird, but
maybe
a good positive weird, right? Like not a negative weird.
I think
we've had enough negative.
Is that something Mickey could tell the guys?
Let's get weird, boys. Maybe don't say it like that. It sounds a little weird, a little too weird, if you're asking me. It's a little strange.
Maybe it would be better.
Why not us? How about that?
No. That's because that's like a political slogan. Let's go with how can we?
What's wrong with that?
What's
wrong with why not us? How is that political?
No, can't we just say something like, "Let's make this weird, guys. Let's make this weird." That's better than "Let's get weird."
Why not us though?
Because that is
too cliche. For
yeah,
teams?
Just a little bit.
You said political.
I'd
say more maybe
cliche.
Too cliche. Let's go with that.
Yeah, why not us? I'm way out.
I don't think that's a political thing.
I know it is though, and it's very cliche. It's both political and cliche.
Off the video of the YouTube stream, someone says all caps, "Let's get weird."
Yeah, I think if I was Mickey and Bush and Whipple, I'd tell the guys, let's make this weird. Let's make this season weird. Let's make it really weird for Trev Alberts.
Well, I mean, if you listen to Mark Whipple yesterday, he has nothing to lose. He realizes if I don't win the West, I'm not going to be here. Right. What do I have to lose to not give it my all and see what I can do? That's a dangerous team. When you've got a team, Wisconsin can be the same way right now. But right now their head coach is gone. Their season is they've made the move.
Yeah.
So they can have the same the same view of hey, we have nothing to lose. Let's go out there, have fun, play our hearts out, and see what happens.
It was interesting listening to Whipple. Interesting.
Boy, we got calls.
Should we do it?
No, I don't know who we have. So let's see how this goes.
Let's do it. No producer.
As you guys know, the last couple of days, just me and Sip at this moment. So if you can hear me on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685, you are on early break. Go ahead. Who is this?
Good morning, Steve.
Whoa, there
Jake,
you are.
How are you guys?
I was wondering where
Chris
you've been
at the Baldwin shop.
I've been wondering where you've been. The lines are lit up like a Christmas tree right now.
Quick.
How are you, Chris? How are you?
Yes, Steve. Your discussions yesterday about the Wisconsin job and the Nebraska job. It was infatuating to listen to this and some of the coaching prospects out there. But Steve, Jake, I'd first like to comment on what Coach Whipple said yesterday. You know what? Hey, he's over 60 years old, so the muzzle's off. He don't care. I agree with what he said. Saturday night up there, sitting up there, Indiana's not a very good team. They're probably not going to make a bowl game this year. We're sloppy. We're still sloppy. This coaching staff's got its work cut out for them. Mickey and these guys, if things go south the rest of the season, it's not on them. I don't put this on them at all. But guys, yeah, Coach Whipple's good. I'm glad to see somebody being tough over there. That's what they need right now, some tough love. We've got to get tougher as a program and as a team. Jake, Steve, I'd like to comment real quick on what your topic yesterday, which is really interesting. That's a hot topic at the shop even. Which is the better job right now, Wisconsin or Nebraska? Well, I divide that into two timelines, before 2000 and after 2000. Before the year 2000, it's not even a question. Nebraska's the superior job by far. By far. I don't even think Wisconsin's got a national championship.
They don't.
No, and our records, Nebraska's was much superior. Now, I will, Steve. I don't know if you remember this, Steve. You're pretty young, but Jake. But during the Osborne years, actually, Coach Osborne was only 1-1 against Wisconsin. I think because I remember sitting up there in 1973, and we eked out a win over Wisconsin. It was pretty close. And the next year up there, we were in the top 5, top 10 for sure, and they upset us up there by a point or two up in Madison. But that's the only. And Devaney had some good luck, I think, against them a couple of times. But after the year 2000, you guys, let's face it, Wisconsin probably has more going for it right now. They've got at least one Big Ten title, probably division titles. They were 9-4 last year. Robin said yesterday when you interviewed him, he thought Nebraska might have a higher ceiling. Maybe, Stephen. I noticed your comments were about the hustle and bustle of the crowd outside the stadium.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. We're always going to be in the top 5 for fan support, but get inside that fence down there on that field. Right now, we've got a long ways to go with the program right now, and I don't know who can straighten this out. You guys keep throwing Urban Meyer. It's going to take maybe somebody like that. But I'd like to remind you also, in the Big West, in the West Division of the Big Ten, every head coach in that division, outside of Pat Fitzgerald, has a winning record against Nebraska. And Pat Fitzgerald is 6-6 against us. And I'm counting Paul Chryst. He was 6-0 against Nebraska. And I love Tom Chattel. This is almost mirroring what they're doing up there to what happened to Frank. And remember, after Frank was let go, a defensive coordinator took over our job too, just like up there. But Steve Jake, honestly, I think Jim Leonard's probably the guy up there. I wouldn't bet on it, but it looks like he's probably the guy. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out, because they've never really fallen off big time on defense like we have. But guys, you know what? It's a great hot subject, and we've still got to go through this season. There's hope here. I think Rutgers Friday night, that game scares me. This is our first true road game, you guys, and it's going to be the almost the second week of October. But they don't play bad defense there, and I think Shiano will have them ready. And then after that, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher. So, but guys, hey, great show. Sorry I'm late calling this week, but
you're fine.
I'm going to hang up and listen.
Thanks.
You're fine.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, the couple things. First of all, he says you might have to find somebody like Urban Meyer. Who's like Urban Meyer?
Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
That's the only person out there that is in the same ballpark is himself, Urban Meyer.
I was struck by that, Chris, that you said maybe it will have to be Urban Meyer, someone like Urban Meyer. There's nobody even close to his record that wouldn't be in. I mean, Dabo's not in play. Saban's not in play. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to include Lincoln Riley. Riley's he's not in Urban Meyer's league either.
Well, he's not in play.
Lincoln Riley is not in Urban Meyer's league.
No. It's a very small league.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. As far as those jobs go, okay. I'm going to tell you something right now. Nebraska's a better job, Chris. Pre-2000, post-2000, Nebraska's a better job. It's a better job. No, I'm not saying that Wisconsin's not doing a better job on the field between the fences, but Nebraska's a better job. That training facility is not, I get it. I know what you're going to say. Oh, the kids don't care about training facility because they care about NIL money. Well, I'm going to tell you something about NIL money. Wisconsin doesn't play the game. Nebraska's playing at a high level. You're going to find out more today. Okay? Nebraska's playing NIL at a super high level, and you're going to find out more. And those two factors make Nebraska a better job along with the fan support, which is much, much better. It's much better.
There's no doubt the fan support is better.
There's no doubt that the NIL support is better, and there's no doubt that Nebraska has better facilities. What's the better job? Chris, I'm asking you. I'm telling you at the Baldwin Shop, guys. What more do I need to say? Better fan support. Better NIL, $165 million facility set to open in July.
Like you said, Reese,
game over.
What's the difference is that they just found a way to win. Let's make it a better job.
They are winning 9-8 in the Big Ten since the COVID season. They're not winning that much.
They're winning more than Nebraska.
Well, a lot of
but that's my point is that
Vanderbilt's winning more than Nebraska.
That's sad. Yeah, that sucks.
I think they are anyways.
I think
close.
no,
Kansas is for sure.
Kansas is winning more than Nebraska.
But don't always do that. You always play that card like, well, they're win more.
No,
than
I was.
so who cares?
I was. You're hearing what you want to hear. I was agreeing with you and said the difference is that they are winning. That's if you want to say why they're a better job. They found a way to win. But otherwise, the things you've said are true.
Game over in that argument.
Well, if you are a coach, we can say we want about why Nebraska's the better job, but they still might say it's at the moment, because they have been winning, they might say it's easier to win up there.
Hold on.
I'm just trying to speak for a coach before you get mad.
I'm speaking for a coach. If I'm a head coach, you're smart, Jake. If you're a head coach and you know this thing at Nebraska's, you're in pretty dire straits. Okay, now think about it. If you're a coach, if you're a head coach looking for a job, you look at Nebraska and say, well, wait a second. You still got the sellout streak going. You have this headquarters we're going to have, which is going to be top 3 in the country. And you have millions of dollars of NIL money. This is set up. This is set up to win. You just don't have the right guy. I'm the right guy. You just haven't had the right guy. I'm the right guy. Because you have it set up, Mr. Alberts. It's set up at Nebraska to win. Wisconsin, I'm not looking at Wisconsin, Mr. Alberts, because they don't have an NIL operation. They don't have the facilities you do, and they don't have the fan base you do. I'm not looking at Wisconsin. I'm looking at Nebraska because it's set up. What more? I mean, where's the pushback?
Well,
you could say Wisconsin's easier to recruit to, maybe.
Well,
maybe.
they have more in-state talent, especially at the trenches.
They do.
I mean, and linebackers. They've done a lot of those guys are from Wisconsin.
I'll give you that. And
you can say NIL all you want. I'd say, well, being in the home state will matter a lot more than maybe it matter.
No, it won't. Money talks, brother. Come on. And okay, you're not thinking about something. What happens when a coach leaves the roster, goes into turmoil? You better have a lot of money to get guys. Those guys going to be going and coming. And how do you get them to come? How do you get them? I
guess nowadays it's money.
How did Nebraska get Casey Thompson and O'Shawn Mathis and Trey Palmer and Marcus Washington? Do you think those guys are here without NIL?
No, I don't.
They're not.
It's still. I think you and I are still bummed that that's the way college football has gone.
But that's the way it is.
But that's
you notice though we don't talk about it during the season because it's
you have your guys.
Well, and it's fascinating. The season's fascinating. Call. Well, as far as Whipple goes, that was illuminating yesterday. I mean, he apparently believed. Jake, come on, they're going to Rutgers and playing a close game, right? You know it's going to be close.
I'd be surprised if Nebraska won handily,
or you'd be surprised if Rutgers won.
Yeah, I think it's a close game either way, win or lose, close game.
Rutgers is a mess at quarterback. They're not a great offense. Nebraska's apparently got its special teams in pretty good working order now, right?
Yeah, they look really good against Indiana.
Nebraska's pretty healthy. They got their guys. I mean, it would be really nice to have A.J. Allen right now. It'd be really nice. Ramir Johnson wasn't in uniform the other night. It'd be nice to have him here. The kid from Oradell, New Jersey.
Yes. You might remember that name. Remember that name? He played last year.
He was in
people begged for him.
He wasn't suited up. But Nebraska's got most of its guns. I mean, they're going to go to Rutgers and have a good chance to win. They're not going to walk into a tough environment. They're not. That's not going to be tough.
No, Piscataway's never been a tough place to play. Maybe the 07 season.
Thank you.
Okay, 1 year ever was it a tough place to play when Rutgers won like 10 or 11 games. I don't know if they won that season. It was good.
Yeah.
From the text line, Brian T says, I don't know if the world is ready for Sip to try being weird on purpose.
I'm not suggesting I'm going to be weird. I'm saying Nebraska should get weird.
Well, don't you kind of embody what Nebraska is doing here?
I'd like to think they would like to think not. They would like to.
How about this before
I don't embody anything.
Before we get to Sean, Wet Blanket is here because he has receipts. He always keeps receipts on things that were said on certain days on the show,
Okay.
whether it was this year or last year or whenever. He said, if Mickey wants to pump confidence in the team, all he has to do is play some early break tapes from July when Garrett Nelson was an all Big Ten player and looked great in a sports coat. O'Shawn Mathis was a top 3 draft eligible rusher, and Caleb Tanner was going to take advantage of the attention that Nelson and Mathis got and be a game changer himself.
Well, Garrett's playing pretty well now, right? He had 2 more sacks.
He also says, if Mickey wants to pump confidence in the team, all he has to do is go back to early break tapes from July also, when the offensive line had his new attitude and was flying off the ball.
Hey, wet blanket. There's still season left. There's still season
He's
left.
got 5 games to work with.
What if they
so
make a
far.
run here, wet blanket? Be careful. We'll keep your receipts.
Oh, we have. He can't delete those receipts.
Yeah,
we have
we'll
your text.
keep your
We
receipts.
have all your text. Wet blanket.
Season's still alive. The season's still alive.
I think he'd probably be happy to be wrong. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
all right, well, you got my receipts.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was finally wrong about this team.
Should we get one more call?
All right, we've got Vince in Napa. Vince, I've got about a minute and a half tops here, and we got to get to break. Vince, you're on early break. 90 seconds. Go ahead.
Hey, fellas, how are you?
Good.
Okay, let me get into my garage real quick because, as you know, I like to explode. But I'll tell you one thing, though. I mean, the comments coming out of Coach Bush and Coach Whipple. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, since this whole new semi-new regime took place, what I like is that we're not getting a bunch of coach speak. We're getting some authenticity because, again, you look at this division, and I think Coach Whipple's right. Is that as many problems as we've had, okay, we're tied at 1-1 with a bunch of teams. We're as much of a contender as anybody. And I think, and I think that's a good way to put it. Now, is it going to be easy by any means? No, absolutely not. But let's call it what it is. The Big Ten West stinks. And also the November stretch that we thought was such a daunting task now all of a sudden doesn't look quite as daunting, with the exception of going to Ann Arbor.
Yeah, that's
so
a tough one.
So I think it makes sense, and I think also a big reason why they're pumping confidence into these guys is because, okay, we're coming off a win. You can justify pumping confidence into these guys. And number 2, as a program, we've already been through the ringer for the first 5 weeks or so of the season. But I'll tell you one thing, fellas.
Oh, boy.
We got a game to play on Friday night.
Okay.
And you want to know something?
What?
There's only one way you come out on Friday.
What's that?
You go into Piscataway, New Jersey, and you go in there, and you all will go there for one reason. You open up a can of kick-ass, and you go out there, and you fight with bloody knuckles. Let's go!
Okay, Vince. We're all fighting with bloody knuckles every day in this thresher.
My knuckles are so bloody they can't even keep up. They're just constantly wrapped.
Got to
here.
put gauze on them every
They're
day.
just can't
Wrapped
even
in
get-
gauze.
yeah.
Or
The
knuckles.
wound won't close. It's just constantly bloody. Especially Vince's knuckles. Those are always bloody.
That was an interesting first segment.
Well, that's how it goes sometimes on the show. Sean Callahan is next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Trendy or traditional, Gary Michaels Clothiers specializes in men's tailored clothing. Off the rack or custom made to measure, there is simply no better shopping experience. Offering designer furnishings, sportswear, shoes, outerwear, and accessories for a man always concerned at looking his best. With world-class tailoring and personal service, all makes Gary Michaels Clothiers Nebraska's premier store for men. Come visit us now at Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Did you know that the U.S. has added over 1,100 new breweries in the last 18 months? Learn more by shopping at Myers Cork and Bottle, 13th and South, and by tuning into Thirsty Thursdays with Kevin Myers, because sports are better with a drink in your hand and a friend at your side.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. There is no better place to watch any Nebraska game other than the 50-yard line at Memorial Stadium. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
This is Dan Friedman. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at freedmanlaw.com today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Partly cloudy skies expected here for our Wednesday. We'll top out near 75. Winds out of the northwest at around 15 to 20. Overnight mainly clear. A low dropping down to around 50. We'll see a high tomorrow of 73, but could see falling temperatures by the afternoon as a strong cold front moves in. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thank you for all the calls and texts, 402-464-5685. Keep those coming as always. We are joined now by Husker Online, Sean Callahan. Sean, good morning. Big news on Sunday at Wisconsin. Paul Chryst is out. Jim Leonard now the interim head coach. We've had the conversation all week on the show. I'd like your take. Both jobs are open, Nebraska and Wisconsin. Is it clear to you which job is better or not, Sean?
Well, I think the conversation is recency bias, and I think obviously Wisconsin recently has been a better program than Nebraska. So do you look at that, or do you look at maybe the totality of the whole picture of, just the administration support and the fan support, the resources, the potential at Nebraska? I mean, I still see a stadium at Nebraska that's getting 87,000 people at games for a team that hasn't won a bowl game since 2016. They're pulling higher TV ratings than most of the teams in the conference, other than maybe Ohio State and Michigan. So there's a lot about Nebraska that you see what the big picture could be. But yeah, Wisconsin as a program today is a better program. I think that's the question, and maybe they have a better recruiting basis simply off population. The state of Wisconsin is over double the population base of Nebraska. So that's another, thing that you have to think about in there. But I still think Nebraska is the better job because of where you can take this place.
What is your sense, Sean Callahan, of Wisconsin's NIL operation?
Right, and that's another point in there. They were not equipped for NIL, and that was never so evident than when they were going after Caleb Williams. I mean, all of a sudden they were like in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes from the Oklahoma quarterback that ended up at USC, and they didn't even know how to like, God, we're in this thing. We got to figure out some NIL, and they just started calling boosters, trying to kick in $25,000 donations. Evidently, at least that was the talk out there in the underground world, and they weren't equipped to bring in a player of that caliber, and that's where it's heading. You've got to be equipped to bring in a player like Caleb Williams and understand the marketplace and how to compete, and that's where Iowa and Wisconsin have fallen back. I mean, they're not set up for that kind of NIL right now, long term, and you may be uncomfortable with it and what it's done to college athletics, but you better figure out a way to embrace it and be behind it, because it is going to get bigger and bigger each and every day.
Sean Callahan joins us from HuskerOnline.com. You're very close to the Vedral family. You know them very well. Noah Vedral is a Rutgers quarterback, a native of Wahoo. Has been limited this season to one game, Sean, last week against Ohio State, and hasn't thrown a pass. What is his status as far as you know for Friday's game, Noah Vedral?
He's got a thumb injury, and that's affected just his grip on the football and throwing it, and so the ball's not coming out as well. And they played him in more of a running role last week for 4 snaps. Those were the first 4 snaps he's played all year. And to kind of put it in perspective, he played almost 1,200 snaps for Greg Schiano the previous 2 years as the starting quarterback. And he's really the captain. And I mean, he's going to be a coach someday. Like, people that know him, I ran into somebody at the facility yesterday, and I said to this guy, I go, yeah, no, we'll end up being a coach. He's like, shoot, yeah, I'll be a coach. I'll hire the guy someday. So he's an outstanding football mind. He's got the toughness of the Vedrals. This is what his dad always joked. He's got the toughness of the Vedrals, but the brains of a Turman. And the Turman, his mother is Matt Turman's sister, Sarah Turman, and they're all 4.0 geniuses, and Noah's got that too. So he's tough and he's smart, just like Steve Sipple, right?
That's right. That's right.
Smart. That's right.
Yeah, mostly smart. But
Oh,
yeah.
Hey, Sean, we were talking last week on the show. We asked you, why was Nebraska a favorite against Indiana? Well, they won by 14, so that made it pretty clear. They're a favorite again against Rutgers on Friday. Do you expect Nebraska to go out there and get back-to-back wins and beat Rutgers on Friday?
First of all, Sipple, we're not going to Atlantic City to put a wager on this game when we're out in New Jersey.
Come on, live a little, Sean.
we were pretty, me and you and Robin on our official picks were all wrong, and Jim Rose, Michael Severe, and Andy Kennedy all were right last week on the Husker Online official picks. But I do like a lot of things about this game this week. Number one, Rutgers is not an elite offense, not an explosive offense. Nebraska's defense matches up well with that, I believe. Number two, I think the timing of this game is really good for Nebraska. Rutgers came off kind of an emotional, upsetting loss to Ohio State that had some drama with Eric Cruikshanks. And I mean, you even had Greg Schiano charge the field and, kind of get into it with Ryan Day at some point in that game. And then the Iowa game was the week before, and it was another physical, tough loss for them. So you get them on a short week. There'll be people there, but I can't imagine that we're walking into, a daunting atmosphere. I think about that part of the country, the New York City area. How many people are going to say, let's get off work early and get down to Rutgers for a Friday night football game. Maybe I'm way off on this space. And if I am, you can call me out on it, Sipple, in the press box. But I don't think that atmosphere is going to be near as tough as maybe it would have been going there for like a Saturday game.
Sean, what about the defense for Rutgers, though? That looks like a pretty good unit. And
that's the matchup. This is a Whipple versus Schiano game. Whipple, what he can scheme up to keep that defense off balance, because Schiano's got a good defense. They're going to bring heat. I think the book on Nebraska is blitz Casey Thompson, get after that offensive line and get them confused. And we've seen that the last few weeks. People are loading up that right side and just trying to go after Ben Hart and bring in, pressure on the outside, pressure on the inside, trying to confuse everything. And they did a fairly good job last week. Casey Thompson took that sack where he held the ball too long. But they held up pretty well considering they were blitzed 17 times, meaning 5 or more rushers came at them 17 times out of 32 pass dropbacks, which is an extremely high number. I mean, they were blitzed like crazy. Anthony Grant did a really good job in blitz protection. Gabe Urban did as well. The running backs did their job in that area. And if they can keep Casey Thompson upright, he's got the receivers to make some big plays in this game.
Speaking of Anthony Grant, Sean, he had 32 carries in the game. That was a high for him at Nebraska, I believe. And last time Nebraska played at Rutgers, Dedrick Mills had a great rushing game. Nebraska ran the ball in Rutgers and won by 7 in 2020. I'm curious, can you see another game where he gets 30-plus carries on Friday?
I would say 25-ish for sure. I mean, a lot of the reason why he had 32 was he lacked that home run. He didn't have a big run. It was a lot of singles, a lot of solid singles, but not very. I think his long run might have been 17 yards in that game on Saturday. So there wasn't that 50, 45-yard type run. And that's, what you need. You'd like to get 1 or 2 of those type of runs to go with that work effort. And that game he had Saturday would become a 200-yard game versus a 130-some yard game. And tough kid. And when he's in rhythm, everything in this offense looks better, and it's going to help Casey Thompson be protected if they can keep running it like that, because the defense is going to have to be ready for that, and it will set up that play action to Trey Palmer down the field.
Has Nebraska's special teams improvement gotten enough? Have we given them enough credit, Sean? Have we gave them enough credit?
Yes and no. I mean, the punting's been better, obviously. We know that. They finally got a punt return for the first time, it feels like, in 15 years. I mean, they got a good punt. I mean, it was the longest punt return they had since 2020, and it was 22 yards. And that was the 2020 punt return was 27 yards. So they got some positive return yardage. Kick return's still not been there. The lack of attempts on field goals has been interesting. I mean, Bleak Rhodes missed some, but he also hasn't had very many attempts. But they're improved. Blocking a punt for a touchdown for the first time since Justin Blatchford did at Baylor in 2009. And you're taking back there. So that was quite an accomplishment as well.
Last thing, Sean, Mark Whipple yesterday said, Nebraska's, their goal should still be to win the Big Ten West. They are tied for first with 6 teams. Wisconsin, the only one out at 0-2. I mean, is it reasonable? Is it feasible to believe that could happen this season or not?
Well, it's almost just you just got to keep going week to week. Yeah. And if they're favored, I mean, they're favored for the 5th time, guys, in 6 games. That's remarkable. I mean,
yeah, it is.
When you think about where the season's at, they're 2-3 with the chance to be 3-3. The Vegas numbers say they should be 5-1 right now, and they're not. So it is interesting where they're at as a team. But yeah, if you get another win and you're 2-1, all of a sudden that game in Purdue has some pretty high stakes heading into a bye weekend for Nebraska. I mean, it's, as Sipple's written several times on Husker Online, how can you not be intrigued right now?
Right.
It's intriguing as hell, as I think as you would write, right?
Yeah. Tell me you're not intrigued.
Tell me you're not intrigued.
Yeah, tell me you're not intrigued.
Yeah, we're intrigued.
Yes, it's very interesting, Sean. Very interesting.
Sean, always good stuff. Thanks for the time, and we will chat with you again next Wednesday.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Husker
Sean.
Online, Sean Callahan.
You know what I'd do? You know what I'd be doing if I was Mickey?
What's
Getting Chubba ready. You better get Chubba ready. Because Casey
sure Smothers is ready then too.
Yeah.
Get Smothers ready
get
too.
Get them all ready. Because Casey's going to get smacked.
Well, Casey has been getting smacked.
Yes. He's going to get smacked.
And Chubba, as we pointed out, went in a terrible point in that ball game. Bad coaching, but Nebraska survived it. But still, there's a chance that all these guys can get hurt.
Rutgers.
Any game.
Rutgers. Bill Bush said yesterday, Bill Bush.
Yeah. Nebraska's defensive coordinator.
Right.
You may have heard of him.
Yeah. He said this is a big man's fight. Rutgers defense will take the fight to Nebraska. They better be ready. And you better have I think you better have your backup quarterback ready. I'm not joking. Chubba's got to be ready. I mean, I hope nothing happens, but I mean, Sean said it. Indiana blitzed them 17 times. They're coming. That's what you do.
Yeah, I would think if you're in Nebraska, maybe one positive thing going into this, although Rutgers has played overall this season good defense. They did not play good defense against Ohio State, who's a great offense, giving up 49 points and doing stuff.
So
you hope maybe they're battered mentally after that, right? Because but besides that, they played really good defense. They've had one bad game against an elite offense, an elite team.
The best team, probably.
Ohio State's at worst the third best team in the country, at worst. Right? At worst.
I said Klatt's got him number one. Joel Klatt.
Yeah, I mean, you
know who Joel Klatt is?
I don't think you could not go lower than third for them right now.
Right.
I mean, first, second, third, that's where they're at. And they waxed Rutgers
49-10.
So again, you hope that maybe they took some spirit out of that defense at Rutgers and some confidence. And we'll see on Friday.
Sean's got a good point too. It's not only Ohio State, they lost to Iowa 27-10. And Iowa's going to hit you. I mean, Iowa's not great, but they're physical.
Well, Iowa had a fumble recovery, touchdown, and a interception.
Pick six,
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be helpful. I mean, Nebraska better pack its special teams too. I mean, the only way they're going to win is if they got to be two of the three phases got to be good. I mean, two of the three phases got to be good. That's what happened against Indiana, by the way.
I'd be pretty stunned in a game like this Friday if we don't see several attempts by Timmy Bleekrode. We haven't seen him for a while, as Sean said. We really haven't seen him kick many kicks this year, right?
Good point. That's a good point.
If you have a good defense, you might move on them, but it's going to be tough to score.
It's going to be tough to get in.
You got to make some field goals.
Yeah, you might have to make 2 or 3.
You might. I just haven't seen Timmy at all.
I think the weather's supposed to be good.
That's rare for Piscataway.
I don't know. All I know is when we were in Piscataway last time, it was a strange scene out on their practice field. We were walking to our car. You had to walk by their practice field to get to your car. You're in the city kind of. I mean, you're in kind of like a urban area, right?
Yeah,
there's a big buck standing in the middle of the field. Big deer, freaked me out. Never forget it. Like a big buck. Like, what the hell's that thing doing there?
You guys at Memorial Stadium, a buck walking in.
I don't want to see that.
No, not happening. Mailbag and song of the day next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks all over it. Don't be that guy. Get it upgraded and repaired at Renew Your Auto. At Renew Your Auto, they offer tons of services: ceramic coating, window tinting, paintless dent repair, washes and details, bed liners, body shop, and more. Where can you go to get services like that all in one place? Schedule your appointment today at renewyourauto.com. See what Renew can do for you.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 US 6 Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers' Great Plains Regional Auction, September 15th and 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln. People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit ASBMidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Trendy or traditional, Gary Michaels Clothiers specializes in men's tailored clothing. Off the rack or custom made to measure, there is simply no better shopping experience. Offering designer furnishings, sportswear, shoes, outerwear, and accessories for a man always concerned at looking his best. With world-class tailoring and personal service, all makes Gary Michaels Clothiers Nebraska's premier store for men. Come visit us now at Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road in Lincoln.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking here in Louisville. We are really hitting on all cylinders right now, and deals are off the charts. We've got a lot more new 2022 and 2023 Chevrolet and GMC inventory than we've had in a long time. So make sure you check us out online, or do even better, stop on in the store and let us show you one in person. Our pre-owned lot is plumb full, so take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
If
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Can't you see I'm burning, burning? Oh, doctor, doctor, this is love I'm feeling. I saw you there, just standing there. And I thought I was only dreaming, yeah. I kissed you then.
Song of the day.
Yeah.
Doctor Doctor by the Thompson Twins from 1984. 464-5685. 1 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
Across the sea, we can feel the motion of 1,000 dreams. Doctor, doctor, can't you see I'm burning, burning? Oh, doctor, doctor, it's love I'm feeling.
Not always the best song when we're both laughing during song. But today's song of the day, I went 80s mode there.
Oh, you did.
Doctor Doctor by Thompson Twins. 464-5685. 1 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day.
God, let me guess the year on that.
I just told you the year.
Did you?
I did.
What year was
well,
it?
You can see what you weren't listening.
I wasn't.
Well, see if you can.
1983?
84.
Okay. Close. I don't know. I guess we were laughing, but I'm not saying it's terrible. I don't know what to make of those songs like Thompson Twins, Tears for Fears. Who else was in that genre? Kind of Duran Duran.
Yeah, Duran Duran was cooler than those guys were.
Okay.
Remember Rio?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
My version of Rio.
Don't do that. Do not do that. Your version of Rio. Don't do it.
I'm not going to.
No, don't do it.
My name is Rio.
Please don't do
Not
it.
her name. My name is Rio.
Oh,
that version. Yeah. You got mad because you said, "What did you say?" It's her name is Rio. You idiot.
You said
my
name
name
is Rio.
Yeah, that's my version of that song.
Oh, don't make me laugh.
It just did. It's too late.
Okay. That's the Thompson Twins.
It is.
Thompson Twins' main hit was
Hold Me Now.
Great. You knew that off the top of your head.
I'm a jukebox over here. You know that.
Doctor, Doctor. I do remember that song. And I just always regarded it as sort of like
Sound.
just a distant second on their list, like a distant second.
It is second. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is definitely second.
Distant. So it was very inventive, creative. It's not a terrible song. And I remember
Why
that.
are you laughing then?
I don't know. I remember that period fondly because I was in high school. So I remember all those videos and all those songs, and they're good memories. So I'll give that a 7. 7.
Your initial reaction, I would have guessed probably a 3. So I'm kind of surprised to see the 7 here.
Yeah. I mean, we both laughed. I feel bad that we laughed at their song.
It's kind of cheesy.
It is,
but it's different cheesy, right?
Yeah. I think.
Okay, let's get
inventive.
some ratings.
What I'm not emphasizing enough is that was very inventive on your part.
I've had a pretty inventive week of Song of the Day. Yeah, Teenage FBI by Guided by Voices.
Yeah,
you can like that one.
No, you can be inventive and it can still fall flat. But I would counsel you to get a little bit more in the mainstream as we go forward.
You want me to go back in the current music now?
I prefer the 70s.
I have lived in the 70s for years on this show because it is the best music era. I've never doubted that.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
The sound is better.
Oh, way better.
Ratings.
Boy, this is going to get interesting.
Yeah, it will. I bet it's all over the place. John, 8.7. Jason says, "What the hell is this?" And no rating. Someone says 2. This song aged like milk. Someone says, "Jake, you are off your game this week." This is a 0. No, I'm just doing different songs. I'm off. Yeah, I don't want to be predictable. I'm not being predictable this week.
That's for sure.
I guess I'm off my game if that's the case. Jennifer, 5. Hubby, a 6.
Hi, guys. Thank you again.
Joe and Boulder, nice 80s. Jake, 7.5. Rod, have a good Wednesday, dudes. 5.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Someone says, absolutely hideous, negative 1.5. And then John in Fremont responds very next one saying, "I've always loved that song." 8.2.
Interesting.
Up and down, all over the place. Breezy says, "What has happened to Jake lately? This is horrendous. Negative 5. I'm just trying new things." Harper's dad, a 1. Harper, nothing today. Must be asleep. 10 by the other Christian Lincoln. Leroy, 1. Buffet says, "Jake, what's the matter with you? What's going on?" 1.17. Nothing's wrong with
Yeah,
me.
I mean,
I'm just trying new songs.
This is maybe where you go to Boston or Hendrix or Journey. I mean, just reel it back to something, quote unquote normal.
Okay,
Cars. How about some Cars?
Well,
You like Cars?
tomorrow's Rick's song, so it's not even my song tomorrow. Friday, we'll see. Let's get to the legal ID before the mailbag.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Without further ado, it is time to reach this segment, which is called the mailbag. Let's hit it. Get my handy dandy pulled up here. Okay, Kelly is probably our top contributor to the mailbag, and I appreciate Kelly.
Good questions.
Oh yeah, always in depth and good. Here's Kelly's question today. Good morning, guys. Halloween candy is out in full force in the stores, so give me your top 3 power ranking of candies you're most excited to see when you're out trick-or-treating as kids.
I wasn't a trick-or-treater. I didn't like it.
You despised Halloween.
Yeah, even as a kid, I think I was out on it at 6. But if I were to flash back, for sure, Reese's, for sure.
Number 1. Yes, that is number 1. Reese's Peanut Butter Cup.
Yeah.
Numero uno for both of us.
Babe Ruth.
That was in your top 3?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Love them. Always did. And
Babe Ruth is in your top 3.
I just said that.
They're not bad. I just never ever desired one. I was like, oh yeah, I think that candy bar exists.
And then, I mean, aren't you almost obligated as an American to say Snickers?
If you want the easy way out, sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
I'd say number 2 for me was Butterfinger. I love Butterfingers.
Okay.
Big fan of Butterfingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Butterfinger will cause some division in the.
Oh, I know.
It will. I mean, not everybody's going to say that. That's going to cause some division. Snickers aren't going to cause division. Reese's isn't going to cause division. Babe Ruth will cause some division. Baby Ruth. It's Baby Ruth, I think. Not Baby Ruth.
That's why I was confused. I'm like, I know what you're talking about, but I forgot it was Baby Ruth.
Not Babe Ruth.
This is going to probably be sounded weak, but I'd say my third would be Starburst. I love Starburst.
Okay. No, that's okay.
So for me, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, Butterfinger, Starburst. And you had Reese's Peanut Butter Cup 1, Baby or Babe Ruth number 2,
Snickers,
and Snickers, the most American candy bar that there is, number 3,
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth. Okay, Kelly.
Oh, you know what would be good? Chico Sticks.
Those are the worst. No, those are the absolute worst. You want some bit of honey while you're at it too?
Nope.
Just the terrible candy.
Bring back the Chico Sticks.
Keep them away. Also, one more question from Kelly on the same topic of candy. Also, what was the worst candy to get, and how long did it take you to eat through all of your Halloween candy?
Dots.
No, Dots are not the worst.
Dots
candy.
are the worst.
No.
Ugh. And black licorice.
Black licorice is terrible.
Yeah.
That I can agree with you on.
Black licorice.
No, Dots are fine.
I've told you about black licorice, right? One time I ate a green sandwich when I was like 6.
A moldy sandwich?
Yeah, I was like, it was in I left my lunch pail at school, and it was there for a period, and I brought it home, and I opened it up, and I ate the sandwich. I didn't know what mold was. I was 6.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't know.
I ate a green sandwich. My brother had the fortitude to say, "Hey, what? You just ate that? That's mold." So he called my mom, who was a nurse. She was working, and she raced home. She was home in like 4 minutes. I don't know how she got home that fast, but my brother said he ate a green sandwich. It was dead green. So she was probably freaked out. And she brought me this vial of stuff that makes you throw up.
Tastes like black licorice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it always, now I can't eat it. I can't even be near black licorice.
Good story. I think it tastes bad.
Yeah.
It just
Thanks
tastes nasty.
Thanks for endorsing that story.
A couple times, for some reason, maybe if you go to older people's houses, they'd give like the Bing cherry candy out. That's just awful.
Ooh, those are bad. Those are
I
bad.
like Bing cherries themselves as the fruit, but the Bing cherry candy is so bad.
Twin Bing.
That's what it is. Twin Bing. Oh, that's the
Bing,
worst.
No, thank you.
It's the worst.
No, thank you. That triggers gag reflex on me.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
Yeah. Twin Bing. It triggers gag reflex.
And I would say also bit of honey, because when you take a bite, your jaw just clenched. You can't open your jaw. Yeah. It's stuck. It's like glue.
Yeah.
You can't open your mouth after that. Last one, because we're late, from Tom. Tom says, Sip's been to a lot of states and games. Where would New Jersey, where he's going this Friday, rank in his favorite states?
Well, not that low. Newark's like flying into a third world airport, but I mean, there's birds flying around and stuff like that.
Isn't that most airports?
No, I don't notice birds in the or no,
like in the airport or outside?
In the
okay,
airport.
Okay, all right, okay, fine. Thank you for clarifying.
In
that.
the airport.
That's bad.
Yeah,
thank you. That's not right.
I don't know where it ranks. What would be number one
for states?
Yeah,
that's your decision.
I like go. You know where I like going? I mean, the one that always pops out in my head is Texas Tech. Going down there to that part of Texas, the plains, the plains of Texas, wide open. And it kind of reminded me of Lincoln, but out in the middle of nowhere. And it's in the middle of nowhere. You can see for a long ways in Lubbock because it's dead flat.
This is probably cheating, but my favorite place to go for my favorite college town, is Athens, Georgia.
Is that
it's
right?
A great town.
Nebraska didn't play there.
No, I've been there before. It's a great city.
Do you remember anything about Boulder?
Yeah, Boulder was okay.
Do you remember?
I don't know if it's a good college town. I remember the city.
Do you recollect that day?
Next year too.
Do you remember that day?
I'll relive that day next year. I'm going back. Nebraska plays their next season.
I know, but I'd like to see you tone down your behavior.
Well, I'm getting older. I was in my 20s back then. Now I'm in my 30s.
Yeah.
We'll see what the next trip to Boulder
You were in
brings.
all your 20s glory too that day. Woo.
I wore shades of the press box. Yep, that happened. Top of the hour next. An early break in the ticket.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. There is no better place to watch any Nebraska game other than the 50-yard line at Memorial Stadium. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
It's tailgate season. Why would you bounce around from place to place for all your beverage needs when you could have it all in one place? Wine, Beer, and Spirits has everything for your parties with their 3 locations in Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. It's the largest liquor store in the state, and here's the best part. You can get a drink from their bar and walk around with it as you shop for all your tailgate necessities. Locally owned and operated, it's Wine, Beer, and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tailgate pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings,
Game time just got better.
In today's day and age, people are trying to do more and more projects by themselves. That might be better on the wallet, but it can also lead to painful sounds like this. Ow! Poor guy, trying to do wiring all by himself. Let's have another listen. It's just not worth it. Don't hurt yourself or make things worse than they are already. For any of your electric needs, call Joe at Ambition Electric today at 402-217-3415 or go to ambitionelectric.com.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all of our pricing on our website plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. You saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at pricerightauto.com.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Wednesday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. Fun show so far. Check out the podcast at theticketfm.com. Thanks to Sean Callahan for joining us. Next segment, Sip, at 7:30. We'll be joined by Jeff Patrikas of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, walking us through the situation at Wisconsin. What has happened for a 2-3 start and 0-2 in conference play? Where might they go? Is it Jim Leonard or bust for the Badgers? We'll talk to Jeff Patrikas about all that and more.
You know, there's literally nobody better to ask than Patrikas.
That's why we got him on.
I know. Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, he's been there forever. He covered McIntosh, Chris McIntosh, Wisconsin's AD. Jeff covered him in high school. He's known him since high school. Patrikas, talk about, writers who are, he's really inside. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
It'll be fascinating.
That's why we're getting him on.
It'll be fascinating.
Yep. Look forward to that. All right. 402-464-5685. Call or text as always. Let's talk about a little bit what Mark Whipple mentioned yesterday about Nebraska potentially, having a chance to win the Big Ten West. I'm going to phrase it like this, Sip. If Nebraska does end up competing for the Big Ten West when all is said and done in November, doesn't it make the Scott Frost tenure that much more confusing?
Yes, it does. Right now you can't really ask the question, what went wrong? It's a little premature right now, right?
Yeah, if Nebraska this season
were to win the West,
right? If they end strong and play well, and they're winning close games.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a question that's I think tough to answer.
The reason you're asking this question for people that are thinking what has gotten into Jake is because of Whipple.
Yes, Whipple said it himself yesterday,
and he seemed the reason it made an impression on people. Is because he seemed very genuine about it. He seemed very convincing. He almost said it in passing, almost, right?
Should I say it? Should I play it again?
Yeah.
Here's Mark Whipple about Nebraska. Why can't they win the West, basically?
We're good enough, I think. Okay. I'm not a genius, but we can win 7 games. We can win these games. All right. We already threw away 3 of them. Oklahoma kicked our rear, but I said, that's the expectation is hey, not just to go to a bowl game. We can win the West. That's what it is. So you're in first place. Act like it and play like it. So that's again takes time, but hey, I'm a realist. If we don't get there, I'm not going to be here anyways. So I told them that. And we win the West, I'll ride Mickey's coattails.
Losing is dangerous. It's a dangerous mindset that develops when you lose on a sustained basis. Here's a great example. He refers to a great example. Think about the narrative that permeates this fan base. The narrative being, man, if they can just make it to a bowl. Okay, you are right out of the gate marginalized at that point.
Yeah, you are indeed.
Right out of the gate. Before the season even starts, the narrative is, God, if they could just make it to a bowl. Now, I don't know how much players go by that. They probably don't go by it a lot, but what Whipple said yesterday suggests sort of otherwise, right? And these guys don't know how good they are. I don't think they don't believe that they can do this. And he almost seems perplexed by it. And I would say, don't be perplexed. It's the narrative that has become very real and very fair.
Yeah.
As a result of sustained losing. Sustained losing for anybody or anything, any organization, is dangerous because it almost becomes self-fulfilling. It becomes part of you. And unfortunately, it sort of feels like that a little bit. And okay, it takes a guy he came in here, he just parachuted in from Pittsburgh. And I think he looks at it and like, man, these guys don't believe they can win.
I just won the ACC last year with my Heisman Trophy contending quarterback, and Kenny Pickett.
He probably saw a team that believed in itself, and now he's seen one that clearly there's no speculation at this point because he talked about it yesterday.
Well, and the thing is, too, I mean, for belief to kick in, you have to get over that hump. And you hope that Indiana game, a game that was tied in the third quarter, going to the fourth, Nebraska outscored them 14-0 in the fourth.
Big.
You got over a hump there. That's a game that Nebraska has lost a lot in these last few years. They just have not been able to close a game out or finish. And they finished the game.
Did you hear Chris Kolarevic at the podium on Monday?
I did.
It was gold. You almost have to watch it because he was pretty expressive. And Chris Kolarevic, the inside linebacker senior, who blocked that punt, right? He took the punt off that guy's foot, right? He talked about how the dynamic is so much different winning a game like that, a close game, and how you feel going to the locker room and how you feel in the locker room compared to if you easily beat Fordham or you easily beat Buffalo or you easily beat Northwestern. It's not the same feeling. It's there's much more electricity if you win a close game, especially a Big Ten game, where when you go to the locker room after that game, it's like, man, we got that one. We got it. It's not just sort of this, if you win easily, it's just not the same. It's not the same. It's good. I mean, you won it.
Yeah.
You won it, but it's not the same electricity. It's not the same. You don't feel the same energy. And he expressed that really well. And I think they can ride that. They're going to have Vince, they're going to have to fight with bloody knuckles at Rutgers. The Rutgers defense is real. They're going to have to go win a close game. The offensive line better be ready. That offensive line better be ready, Nebraska.
Well, and that's why, again, if they look like they're prepared and the O-line is ready and they win this football game and Nebraska in a game against a good defense can score and their own defense holds Rutgers to limited points and wins the football game.
Rutgers got a quarterback mess.
It is a mess. And that's why go take advantage of it, though. We've seen in the past, Nebraska, I'm not saying what game particularly, but Nebraska has had situations that should be in their favor, and they just didn't take advantage of it.
Now, what if
can you take advantage of something that is pretty clear right now?
Let's get back to the conversation. If Nebraska gets to 2-1 in league play, it is going to set up a very interesting game at Purdue, right? Really interesting. By the way,
Purdue plays Maryland this week, right? Did we say
that?
I think that's what we said.
At Maryland.
Make me confirm that. I'm pretty sure it's at Maryland.
At Maryland. I mean, Purdue in danger of falling to 1-2.
Purdue at Maryland, 11 a.m. kick. Maryland a 3-point favorite.
Look at Purdue's. You got
I got their schedule. Yeah.
Look at Purdue's schedule right now in October. Look, okay, I'm going to set it up this way.
Okay.
Purdue could be out of the race by the end of this month.
Now they had a nice win against Minnesota.
They did, unexpected.
All right, they have 3 more games in October. Okay, they play at Maryland. They play home against Nebraska.
Okay,
and then they play at Wisconsin.
Okay, so these games weren't as tough as
that game looked tougher a month or two ago, right?
That's why. What's early November?
Home against Iowa, who they own.
Yeah,
Purdue owns Iowa, and then they go to Illinois. That could be interesting.
Tough. This West is going to be.
But the thing is,
West is going to be. It's just going to be a tight race.
But here's the deal: if Purdue can survive that, their last 2 games are home against Northwestern and at Indiana.
Right.
So if they're at the top of the West with 2 games to go, it'd be a shock if they don't win the West.
Think about the fan base at Nebraska. The fan base, how Saturday is going to feel here if Nebraska goes out and takes care of business in Piscataway. Think about how it's going to feel at the ticket. Think about how it's going to feel. I mean,
you already have a heads up. Yeah, you're playing Friday night. Now you can go watch, knowing, hey, we're 2-1. Let's go watch if Purdue can beat Maryland on the road. If Illinois and Iowa is a competitive game, who wins that game?
Think about how it changes the conversation about Mickey, or in some cases bolsters a conversation, the enthusiasm for Mickey Joseph, the interim. I mean, it could, like I said, in the first hour, it could get weird. And if I was Mickey, I'd be telling guys, let's make this weird. Let's make this weird.
They want to count us out. We're not out.
Well, I mean, I don't like doing that because it makes it seem like we were unreasonable. We weren't unreasonable. I mean, they lost to Georgia Southern. They gave up 642 yards. It wasn't unreasonable to say, man, this is a disaster. That was a disaster.
That was a horrible. I mean,
that was a disaster. The loss to Oklahoma was a disaster. Now, sports are unpredictable. College football is unpredictable. Like, you see things sometimes. You see teams suddenly kind of turn. Nebraska hasn't done that yet, by the way. Right now, there's people on there driving to work and probably on the text line saying, all right, guys. They just beat Indiana that didn't have its top 2 receivers. And now we're saying it's turning on a dime.
Well,
so
there's potential for that. We're saying the momentum could be taken right now for this team. They could actually use momentum and do something with it.
Right. And Whipple
with a win. They just had a win.
And Whipple kind of sparked up this conversation when he said, my expectations just seem to be higher than the guys who are playing. And that's frustrating to me. That's a really interesting quote.
It is.
Whipple, my expectations just seem at times to be higher than the guys who are playing, and that's frustrating to me. He said, he was asked to follow up on it. And he said, I don't know if they really think we can win every game. We're good enough, I think. I'm not a genius, but we can win these games. Now, if I'm on that team, I like to hear that. I like to hear the offensive coordinator say that.
Well, they need someone to believe in them.
Well, there's
and I think Mickey obviously.
I think Mickey does.
I think
Bill Busch does.
But you need multiple voices. It's all these guys in a situation that's tough. When people have been fired, you got to have multiple guys breathing that positivity into them. Like, hey, guys, the season's not over. Come on.
So far from over.
Like you are 1-1. Whatever happened in non-con happened in non-con. You're 1-1 in conference play.
It's far from over.
You have a chance to do something now. Save the season. Give
well,
yourself
they did.
A chance here.
They did against Indiana.
They did.
But that whole conversation about which we did and what people do, and I get it. It's not unfair. It's not unfair to say we thought if they lose to Indiana, the whole thing can unravel.
I still believe that would have been the case if they lost that game.
I know, but not that. What I'm saying is the kids hear people say that, and maybe that's why they don't have that confidence that Whipple wishes they had. Right?
Yes.
I mean, they hear it. They hear the talk. That's what I mean about losing. It's a bad deal.
We have a phone call. Again, I don't have a producer. So if you can hear me on early break, 464-5685. You are on early break. Who is this? Who do we have here?
This is Jerry.
Jerry. Good to hear from you, Jerry.
Yeah, nice to hear from you. How are you, Jerry?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, hey, I got to tell you, you're talking about Whipple and his comments that he made.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I love it, because I kind of always tried to coach in the realm of positive expectations. And, when you have positive expectations, it's amazing how you can get guys to reach up and move up and be up and all those things. So I like that. And I like the fact that he, nipped on him a little bit, because as a good coach, sometimes I believe you got to nip on him a little bit, not all the time. But so I like that. I like the message that Mickey, I'm not at practice, but I like the message that Mickey's putting out there and how he's going about things. I think that's good. Bill Bush is, first of all, his positive input on the special teams has been tremendous. And then, taking over the defense and simplifying things. And now we'll know more in a couple of weeks how all that progresses. But, we looked like a football team we could get behind and support and love and like Saturday night.
That's good to hear.
And that's what I like. When I watch a game, I like to see a team that's well coached. And we weren't perfect Saturday, too many dang penalties, but we looked like a pretty dang good football team Saturday night, irregardless of whoever you're playing. You got to look the part. And I think they kind of did. And, you always got to stand the test of time in coaching. And, I got a comment. You were talking a little bit about what was, why couldn't, if we're looking that much better now, why is that? Well, this is a statement I gave to an assistant coach one time after the season. And I said, do you have another job? And he kind of looked at me and said, well, no, and he said, why? I said, well, because you're working at your play and you're playing at your work. And I think there was some of that going on, and it caught up to him.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
that's
Jerry.
about all I got.
Okay, Jerry.
Jerry, good call. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, this is where we should get to the best Whipple quote of all yesterday, which we haven't even mentioned. Can we say it though? Do you know what?
I can play it. It's bleeped out here.
Okay, this was probably the best Whipple quote of all. And this goes with what Jerry said about sometimes you got to nip at them. Sometimes you got to nip at the players.
Here's Mark Whipple.
I don't know. I guess in my history, when I walk around being a nice guy, this doesn't work as well as when I'm a okay. I don't know why, and that's just what I told the kids on Monday. I said, look, man, I'm down here. Just when I have something across my rear end, guys, we just play better, and that's really what it was like at halftime.
Play that first part again.
I don't know. I guess in my history, when I walk around being a nice guy, it just doesn't work as well as when I'm a
That's a beautiful. It sounds beautiful too.
The bleep makes it better than what he said.
It reads beautiful. And by the way, they let me write that on HuskerOnline.com.
How about that?
I'm sure not bleeped out.
Didn't bleep it out.
Oh,
For radio purposes, we had to.
Yeah, it rhymes with Bick.
Yeah, it does. And sick. And...
You're very disappointing. I love it when you look at me with disappointment. I'm sorry, Jake. That was a great quote by Whipple. It's one of the best. It's one of the best I've heard in a long time.
Well, he speaks from his heart.
Yeah, he does.
He's not. There's no coach speak with Whipple.
He does pretty much speak from his heart.
He does. I mean, there's no such thing as coach speak with him.
Occasionally, he'll lapse into it because he has to, but not. No, you're right. Yesterday was fabulous from Whipple. If you got access to YouTube, just go find it. It was fun to listen to.
Yep.
You got access to YouTube?
I believe it or not, I do. My phone, my computer, all over the place. I have access. Let's check in with Wisconsin and what's going on with the Badgers. Jeff Patrikas, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel is next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Gana Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com. Breakfast tacos, brisket tacos, pork tacos, chicken tacos. You hungry yet? I can keep going. Pork or chicken, queso nachos, queso mac and cheese, hatch mac burritos. Now you're salivating. Muchachos is Lincoln's premier New Mexico barbecue fusion restaurant. You can't miss them in their bright blue building. Pair that great food with delicious coffee for breakfast and a variety of local and national beers on tap the rest of the day. Order your food online at yomuchacho.com or visit them in person at Muchachos on South 11th Street between L and K Streets.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is under new management, but has the same great service as before. If your current garage door seems outdated or isn't working properly, call their new number at 402-480-2840 to schedule service or get a new door ordered. Steve's can repair most types of garage doors and can always point you in the right direction to get the job done. Give Steve's Garage Doors and Services a call today at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. Stand-up forklift and high-reach forklift experience is a plus for open positions, but they're willing to train for those without experience. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
Hey, buying a used vehicle sucks, and the biggest problem is who can you trust? Hey, this is Carl from Price Right Auto out here at West O Street in Lincoln. Here's what customers have told us they want from us. They want transparent pricing with no games. We have all our pricing on our website, plus a Carfax report. We don't want to buy a lemon. We include a 3-month warranty on all of our vehicles. We don't want to play games. Just make it simple. We saw that with non-commissioned salespeople. Can you trust us? Just check out our Google reviews. Again, this is Carl from Price Right Auto in West O. Check us out at PriceRightAuto.com.
We're on the air. Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jake.
Simple, you are an idiot.
Brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we all know it's been a tumultuous season for Nebraska so far. 2-3, they just beat Indiana, but still 2-3 overall. 1-1 in conference play, but we're kind of used to tumult right now, at least the last 5-6 years. A place that's not used to tumult, Sip, is Wisconsin, who finds himself at 2-3 overall and 0-2 in conference play. And to get an update on everything that's happening there with Paul Chryst out, what's next with the hunt for the job, is Jeff Patrikas of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Jeff, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Let's go back quickly to Sunday before we get to Saturday against Illinois, that loss. Your level of surprise when at around 3:45, 4 o'clock, the news is out that Paul Chryst is fired. Were you shocked? Were you expecting it? Take us back to that moment, Jeff.
Well, we had talked to the athletic director before the Illinois game, Chris McIntosh, and McIntosh played under Barry Alvarez, worked under Barry Alvarez, and like Barry, McIntosh is a guy that tends to say, I'm going to let my coaches work through difficult times. And he said, hey, we're good. We'll wait till the end of the season to look at things. And I checked with a couple of people Sunday morning after the loss to Illinois and got the same feedback, said, hey, there's going to be no changes today. The coaches were meeting, reviewing the Illinois game. All the assistants were. Paul went to his office that day thinking everything was going to be fine. And then that changed when McIntosh thought about it overnight and decided to make a move. It was extremely out of character for UW, for the department, not just football, because they have never fired a coach that I can remember in season in any sport.
Interesting. Jeff Patrikas joins us from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. So it begs the question, Jeff. I mean, Barry Alvarez has his imprint all over that program. Where was he on this? Did he have a hand in this? Was he consulted? What do you know about that dynamic, Barry Alvarez?
Yeah, he let McIntosh was the guy he brought in years ago to succeed him, and that's eventually what happened. And he let McIntosh go with his gut, and McIntosh has not provided a lot of details as to what changed in his mind. But I do know that the loss to Illinois and the way it happened shook a lot of people. And I know people have said, well, it's Brett Bielema coming back, and that was embarrassing. I don't think that had anything to do with that. I don't think it mattered who was on the other sideline as the head coach. What mattered was all week long, the players after the loss to Ohio State had said, look, man, we're going to come out with a response. You guys just wait. We're going to play hard. We're going to get this thing turned around. They're down 14-10 at halftime. Paul Chryst says to his players, it's time to draw a line in the effing sand. Let's take a stand. And they go out and they get dominated in the second half. They don't score. And they turn the ball over. So I think that shook people. And you got the Jim Leonhard factor. Jim Leonhard's been the guy people wanted to be the eventual successor. Now this gives him 7 regular season games to show whether he's up to the task.
What do you think has to happen for Jim Leonhard? Is there a win total attached to that conversation? What's that picture have to look like, Jeff?
I would, people have asked me that, and I'll answer you the same way I've answered them. I don't even put a number on it. I don't say he's got to win A, B, or C games. What I say is this: at the end of the season, the supporters, the administrators, everybody around the football program, what they need to be able to do is say, you know what? Jim took over a really difficult situation. We don't care what the record was, but at the end of the season, the football team looked like a good football team. Fewer penalties, more physical, a team that got stronger as the game went on, as opposed to a team that faltered as the game went on. They've only scored 14 points in the second half of their 3 losses. Nothing against Washington State, nothing against Illinois, 14 in the fourth quarter against Ohio State, long after the game had been decided. So they have not been able to battle back. They have not handled adversity well. So people just want to see progress. They want to see a team that is tough again. And Jim has talked about that. So number of wins, I don't think matters. Now, if they lose all 7 games, then you have a hard time selling Jim Leonhard as the successor to Paul Chryst.
Speaking of progress, joined by Jeff Patrikas, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. There's just some stats that are shocking for Nebraska fans to see regarding Wisconsin. I go back to Saturday in the 34-10 loss to Illinois at home. 24 carries for 2 yards. I've never heard anything like that at a program like Wisconsin. Like, what's up with that? What's going on with the run game? Like, where did it go, Jeff?
You weren't here in 2015 when they got minus 26 against Northwestern.
I forget that one.
I think there's a couple things that work. It's interesting because the offensive line last year and the offensive line coach, Joel Rudolph, took a lot of heat from fans. And people were not sad to see Rudolph go. That crew, when they turned their season around with a 6-game winning streak in Big Ten play, they averaged about 278 rushing yards per game. So the only thing I can pinpoint on, because there's 4 starting lineups this season out of 5 games because of injury. So that's one thing. But they hired a new offensive coordinator in the offseason, Bobby Ingram, came over from the Ravens. If you look at it, I think there's something going on there in terms of, I don't know if the staff is all on the same page with what's going on with the offense. Because there was a sequence in the game against Illinois. They're down 34-10. They get a kickoff and a kickoff return, good return and penalty at their own 45-yard line to start the game. They haven't run the ball the entire game. This is midway through the third quarter. They run a play with a tailback, run a play with a tailback, run a jet sweep. They're facing 4th and 2, and then they decide to pass. In my opinion, at that point in the game, you haven't run all day. You've got to put the ball in your quarterback's hands. And I just think there's a little bit of a disconnect there. And I've written about it this week. I'm really curious to see if Jim Leonhard sticks with the same people calling the plays, with Ingram calling the plays this week. I don't know if that's going to happen. He hasn't said yes. He hasn't said no.
Interesting.
I just think there's something going on there.
Jeff Patrikas joins us from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. We're talking about what's happened at Wisconsin. So let's zoom out. So I think the record is 15-10. Paul Chryst' record was 15-10 since the COVID year, 2020. 9-8 in the Big Ten. I think I have those numbers right. 15-10 and 9-8. It's fallen off. What? Zoom out. Why is it fallen off?
In 2020 was a rough year for everybody. They finished, I forget what their eventual record was.
4-3.
But
4-3.
Yeah,
I
remember the next camp talking to guys in preseason camp, and some of them, they don't say this during the season, but they'll say it the next year. Some of them said that when they would go to practice that year, they didn't know who the hell was going to be available for practice. They were talking about like 15, 20, 25 guys unavailable that year.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really disruptive here. And if you remember, the Nebraska game was one of the ones they had to cancel. That one and Purdue. So that was just a very disruptive year. 2021, they had a good defense. It took a while for their offensive line to gel, but that was quarterback play. They did not get good quarterback play. That really thwarted their season early against Notre Dame, against Penn State, and to a lesser extent against Michigan. Those 3 games they lost early. This year, it's been a mix of things. They lost 8 starters on defense, so the defense hasn't been as solid as it's been in the past. It wasn't against Illinois. They gave up some big plays they shouldn't have against Illinois. It wasn't against Washington State in key stretches. So you have that. You have an offense that's dysfunctional, and you just don't have a good mix to win games. And that's why they're 2-3 at this point.
Regarding the future, Jeff, I'm curious. So it sounds like Jim Leonhard is the choice as long as he doesn't, lose 7 straight games to end the season. Now, if for some reason that happens and you go to number 2, is Lance Leipold number 2? Like, where's the hunt go if Jim Leonhard's not the answer by the end of this season?
Who's this Leipold guy? What has he done lately?
Yeah, I never heard of the guy, right?
Yeah, let's put it this way. The analogy I've used is Wisconsin officials are sitting at a poker table, and they have just pushed every chip they have in front of them in the middle on Jim Leonhard. That's what they're doing. It kind of not completely identical, but it's a similar situation. When Bo Ryan retired as men's basketball coach in the 15-16 season, Greg Gard had about 20-ish games to show what he could do. He showed he was up to the task. He got the full-time job. That's what's going on with Jim Leonhard. Different circumstances, but that's what's going on with Jim. If it doesn't work out with Jim, Chris McIntosh has not said anything beyond that. He's not going to reveal what's going on in his head. But Lance Leipold would surely, it should be one of his first calls.
How big a name is Lance in that state? I mean, how much does that name resonate with Wisconsin people?
They're very familiar with obviously what he did at UW Whitewater. If for those who really dig down into Lance's resume, they know he was a grad assistant under Barry, and they're smart enough to watch TV and realize, wow, Kansas has been irrelevant for more than a decade, and this guy's got them ranked. So people are well aware of his reputation and that he is from the state.
Jeff Patrikas joins us. One more from me, Jeff. Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Who's winning the West?
It's interesting you asked me that, because last night I cut up some strips of paper. I put 7 names on and put them in a hat. I haven't pulled it out yet because I have no idea.
You cut up strips of paper.
Jeff, is there?
Actually, it was 8 strips of paper. The 8th one I pulled out was no one knows.
Is there any chance that Illinois could pull it off? I mean, they looked good against you guys Saturday. Could Brett Bielema actually make them win the West?
I have not looked at their schedule, to be honest with you, to see how friendly a schedule it is. But I mean, they're playing really good ball. But I wrote that they were playing really good ball before they came to Madison, because I watched some tape, and the one thing that concerned me was their pass defense. And Wisconsin attacked them early through the air, and that's this gets back to what I talked about with the offense. Wisconsin hit them early, drove it right down their throats with some big pass plays, and then just relied too much, in my opinion, on the run. And then when they got behind, then Illinois attacked them with a really good front and got after the quarterback.
Jeff, always good stuff. Thank you for your time this morning, and we will chat with you again down the road.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
Great stuff. Jeff Patrikas, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Good insight there on the situation at Wisconsin.
2 takeaways. You can't put this all on Graham Mertz. You just can't do it. I mean, they got myriad problems. So it's not as simple as saying, bad quarterback play. No, they got a lot of issues. That's one big takeaway. The other big takeaway is they're all in on Leonard. It's a different situation here, as we established yesterday. They're all in on Jim Leonard. He doesn't. I don't think he has to win much. I don't think he'll have to win a bunch of games. It's not like what we're saying about Mickey Joseph at Nebraska, where he probably has to get to a bowl game. Nobody's saying that about Jim Leonard.
No, he said hypothetically that you're basically putting all your chips on the table.
Yeah,
all on Jim Leonard. Now, what if he goes 0-7 though? He's not going to.
Right.
They'll beat Northwestern, I'm sure.
I would think so. Third takeaway, actually. Illinois' pass defense not too good. Where's Nebraska the strongest? They can pass.
They can chuck it deep.
Yeah, they can
go deep, Trey.
Yeah.
Go deep, Trey.
Oh, this could get interesting.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a very interesting 2 months of football action in this conference. Let's play the game show. Give us a call right now at 464-5685. Your chance to win a business box of bagels. 2 bagels and Joe. You are 1-1 on the week.
17-7 is the record. Is that right?
I think you're right.
18-7.
Yeah.
It's 18-7. Jake.
You wrote it down. So
it's 18-7. 18-7.
Native countries of famous bands and artists.
Oh, great.
Where are these bands or singers from?
Now we're talking.
I'll give you a hint. No answers are the USA. Okay.
All right.
That fair enough. 464-5685. Shut Up Sipple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
All right, 464-5685. Call to take down Sip in trivia. How do you feel about native countries of famous artists or singers?
I feel good about it. I do.
Really good?
Yeah.
You going to get to 2-1 on the week at all?
I would like to think so. I'd love to get, 19-7 sounds great.
Okay.
Right? 19-7 sounds great.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
We got Alex in the line. Alex, how do you feel about native countries of famous bands or singers?
I feel great.
Okay. You guys both feel really good. So let's see if you can prove that with a good performance. Alex, first question goes to you. What country was AC/DC from?
Australia.
Oh,
Australia.
ooh, would
is
not have
correct.
gotten that.
What would you have guessed?
UK.
It's fair. Guess
Yeah.
wrong, but Australia is correct. All right, Sip. For the tie, what country was Rihanna born and raised in?
Oh, I know this. The Caribbean.
That's not a country.
That's
an area.
Oh God. Rihanna. Barbados.
How about that? A place you love, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I just had to put it together in my head.
Barbados is correct for
Yes.
Rihanna.
Yes.
That's well done.
Thank you.
Okay, Alex, for the lead, your last question. What country is Shakira from?
Oh, got it.
Ooh. I am Venezuela.
Ooh, God.
By the way, you get a lot of crap from the text on your Caribbean guesses. It's not a country.
I know, but I got it.
You're lucky I gave you a chance there. Are you going to go for Shakira or not? It is not Venezuela.
It is.
But you-
I'm stealing it. I'm doing it. Colombia.
Oh, he took a risk and he got it right. The game is not over yet. He can still miss this and you can steal it, Alex. So let's see if you can close it out, Sip. 2-1 lead for the win. What country is Enrique Iglesias from?
He must be Spain.
Look at him go. Look at him go. You felt good going in.
I did.
And you were right. Congrats, Alex. We'll get you a bagel and a coffee. Thanks for calling in and call in down the road.
You bet. We'll see you in Okoboji next summer, Jake.
All right. I'll be there. I'll be there. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I know Alex.
I think I don't want to know about that.
I know Alex.
All
Alex
right.
is a good man.
That was fun. Good job. Great topic. Great topic. Don't know how I got Shakira, but got it.
You want to guess for the tiebreaker what Shakira's age is?
Yeah, sure. I'll guess that she is Shakira. 38.
45.
Oh, man. Getting up there.
She's not 50 yet.
No.
It's 45.
Okay. That's a W. That's 19
That's a
and
nice
7.
win. It's a nice win.
Thank you.
2-1 on the week.
appreciate it.
Yeah, that was generally that was a good win.
Yeah. Genuinely.
Genuinely a good win.
That was a good topic.
You
too.
wouldn't, but you would not have had Australia for AC/DC.
No. Then I got to file that in my memory because you'll come back to that at some point. AC/DC Australia. AC/DC Australia. Should be easy to remember that. Didn't know that.
Well, you didn't have to worry about it.
No
at this
bands from
time.
the UK. No bands from Ireland, huh?
A lot of,
Am I get Caribbean?
Yeah.
Caribbean.
I mean, the Caribbean's not. a country.
I know,
It's
but I
an
got
area.
it. I got it. See, we've been there.
You're lucky. I said, well, give me a country in the Caribbean.
Yeah. I got it. That's the key.
By the way, before we get to break and the spillover, a couple things. Lower the music here. I have a nice person on the YouTube. I'm going to throw this on YouTube real quick. This is a very nice gesture by somebody.
Okay.
Okay. This is from Lisa. This is about 20 minutes ago. Lisa put this up. Put on the stream. Okay. Lisa says this. I have 2 tickets for the Rutgers game that I can't make it to. Do you guys know someone deserving of them?
Oh.
If you are out in the New Jersey area or someone that's planning to travel and don't have tickets yet, let us know.
Okay.
Shoot me a text or shoot us a text at 464-5685 and we'll see if we can get you hooked up with Lisa.
Yeah, if you're anywhere out there on the coast and you want to go, up in the Northeast.
Lisa's got 2 tickets for you.
Yeah, would you say that's Northeast? Yeah.
Well, that's Northeast. It is.
Out there on the seaboard.
There we go.
If you're out there on the
respectable.
seaboard. Yeah. That's super nice of Lisa.
It is. Bring me nice also too. One more time. I've said this the last couple of days. I'll say it again. This Friday and Saturday, there's an event at Haymarket Park. It is called SIP Nebraska. This is named after you.
It's not named after me.
It is
Hey,
your
don't
name.
do
It's your
that.
name, SIP Nebraska.
Don't do that to them.
SIP Nebraska has a bunch of different local breweries from across this, actually statewide, not just local, but statewide breweries, wineries, distilleries.
Nice.
And if you go on Friday or Saturday, get a pass, you can drink all the different stuff for free. You walk around the concourse at Haymarket Park. On Friday, if you want to go, you can watch the game on the screen. They get the big Jumbotron. We'll show Nebraska Rutgers at 6 p.m.
Is that right?
Yes. On Saturday.
Friday night.
Friday.
Yeah.
So how about this?
That's Friday night.
Yeah. Caller 7 today. Yeah. I'm getting more Caller 7 right now at 464-5685 will win for Friday night, for Friday's game, for Friday's SIP Nebraska event. You win 2 passes to that.
Wow, that'd
How
be
about
fun.
that for free. If you don't win the passes, you can still go take your wife, take your friend, take your significant other, and go to sipnebraska.com, purchase tickets today.
How would that not be fun?
It'd be a blast. You should do it. I'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be in Piscataway.
Yeah.
Or New Brunswick or wherever the hell the game they play. I don't know. I hear different places. Hopefully I'll find the right place.
It's in Piscataway.
Okay, it's not New Brunswick?
Nope. sipnebraska.com. See you out there Friday and Saturday. Should be a fun time. 4 to 11 p.m. on Friday and 1 to 10 p.m. on Saturday.
Thank you.
Great time. The spillover is next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Hey, this is Ernest Hausman. As a linebacker from Nebraska, I know how important it is to have a strong defense and a great playbook. If you are looking for a solid team to have your back, check out my friends at Burke Brown Law. Burke and Jackson will work with you to create an individualized strategy to bolster your defense.
Hi, this is Burke. Give us a call at 402-606-1441. With locations in Lincoln and Columbus, we're ready to tackle your needs. Find us online at burkebrownlaw.com.
Let me share something to make life just a little easier. It's just one word, Bryant. If we need service on our furnace or AC, we call Bryant. Same thing goes for an electrical issue. If I have a problem with my faucet, a toilet, a drain, or a water heater, I don't need to know how to fix something. I just need to know who to call. And at our house, it's Bryant.
Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Just one call. 467-1111. Remember, we do whatever it takes.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism. The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals. It's tailgate season. Why would you bounce around from place to place for all your beverage needs when you could have it all in one place? Wine, Beer, and Spirits has everything for your parties with their 3 locations in Lincoln, Grand Island, and Omaha. It's the largest liquor store in the state, and here's the best part. You can get a drink from their bar and walk around with it as you shop for all your tailgate necessities. Locally owned and operated, it's Wine, Beer, and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
These days, there are more reasons than ever to treat yourself to a great haircut at Great Clips with the online check-in app. So tell us, why do you check in?
I check in because I'm tired of hat hair. I check in because we all need a cut.
I check in so I can feel like me.
And I check in so I look good for you.
No matter why you check in, you'll check out with a great haircut and save time with our online check-in app. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
What does continuing education mean to you? At Southeast Community College, it means helping you advance. Whether that's a certification to help your current career or learning an entirely new career in healthcare, trades and industry, or computers and technology, SCC can help you take the next step. Financial assistance is available too. Learn more about our continuing ed classes at southeast.edu/continuing education. SCC, your path to personal and professional development.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
Is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover with Chris Raff, AD, out today, at least for the spillover.
Yep, for the spillover, he'll be calling in and zooming in. He has a lot of stuff on his plate today, but he will make his...
He's a busy man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He's a busy guy.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate you being here, though, Raph. Thank you.
I do what I can. I do what I can.
Do you miss Alabama yet or not?
Oh, a little
you
bit.
You were just there for over a week back.
Yeah, I missed it a little bit. I wake up a little bit more, what would you say, more livelier in the mornings when I'm in Lincoln.
That makes sense. Look who's back.
There he is.
I told me I had time to go to the bathroom. And
you don't have to share everything.
Well, you made it. It's you here.
How are you doing, Raph?
Good. How are you, brother?
Pretty good. A lot to talk about.
Always.
Yeah.
Football season.
What do you guys got coming today? I see your notes all written down.
Oh, no, they aren't even notes. This is stuff I have written from like 4 or 5 weeks ago, but I'm like,
is it what, like poetry?
I don't know if you remember.
You write poetry down?
Yeah, every once in a while. Every once in a while, I
scribble down some lines.
I get bored, like writing down a meaningful quote now and then.
Nice.
Yeah.
But now I'm like Joe Collier. I don't know if you guys remember him. The old, if I was on the drive right now, they'd be playing the Are You Crazy? But the Broncos' old defense coordinator used to wear a notebook in the front of his pants for every game.
Really?
Yeah. And he never took that notebook out of his pants, but it had the game plan and everything.
Uh-huh.
And he said that by him having that, by osmosis or whatever, that he would know the game plan.
By osmosis, it would sink into his stomach.
I guess it would. Yeah.
So this is sort of like
This
is my osmosis folder. It has like stuff from like way back at the beginning of the year, like who wore number 3, and stuff.
Okay,
like that.
This is interesting. It sparks up a memory, and I tried this. My brother told me, my little brother told me when I was in college, I had a lot of trouble with biology, and I had to do well on a test to get through the class. And I was studying one night, and I was talking to him, and I said, I'm just tired. I'm tired of studying. He goes, well, one thing that might help is put your biology book under your pillow when you go to sleep.
Yeah.
And that actually helps.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I wonder. I mean, I did okay on the test. And I slept with that.
Like a psychology thing.
Yeah. I slept with that book under my pillow, the biology book.
That's how it's done.
That sounds like a psychological thing there.
But I wonder about it. I mean, I don't dismiss it as something that's helpful, just like Joe Collier.
Yeah. You had it right up there. And
Joe Collier had it tucked in his
just right
belt.
Right in the front of his belt. Yeah. And he never took that thing out all the years I watched Broncos.
When was that?
Oh, he was defense coordinator, and I think his final year was 89, I believe.
Oh, wow.
But he was there from like I'd say probably 70 days, or actually earlier than that, maybe 68 to 89. He was there for a long time.
You've been a Broncos fan that long?
Been a Broncos fan since probably 78, probably.
How about that?
I was a wee young spry 4-year-old
That's
watching.
back when you were a Raiders fan, Sip. You guys are rivals without even knowing.
We were
it.
rivals. We were
without even knowing it. Yeah, yeah. We were
Kenny
rivals with
Kenny
Raph.
Stabler.
Yeah, we were rivals. You had Morton.
Craig Morton, baby.
Yeah. Morton.
The Cal Bear.
Yeah, we were probably beating you pretty bad back then.
No, not in the 77 championship game.
Oh,
Bring
hello.
Bring it back.
Yeah, you're
The
right.
the M&M boys did it that day.
The M&M boys being
Morton and Moses.
Come on, duh. Morton and Moses. Come on, Sip.
Come on.
They
Where's
beat
that?
Kicked your butt. You forgot
they beat
about
Cliff Branch and Biletnikoff and Van Egan
Yep, they got him that day.
and Casper
Yep.
and Willie Upshaw,
And John Madden.
Gene Upshaw.
How about that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of names being brought.
Oh,
up.
that's
good.
Oh, that's
What team do you dislike the most, like in the NFL?
Do I
Who's your
dislike
top?
the
Is it the
most?
It's got to be the
Chiefs?
Chiefs, right?
Chiefs your top rival?
Come on.
You know, everybody thinks that, but I'd probably say the Raiders just because of
It's
all,
you.
just with Al Davis and all that he did with Mike Shanahan back in the, was that late 80s, late 80s, early 90s.
All he did with Mike Shanahan, meaning
he didn't pay him. He
oh,
owed him about $250,000 after he fired him as head coach. And,
is that right?
and after that, Mike Shanahan, every time Broncos, like back in the mid 90s when Shanahan was there, that's all Mike wanted was to beat the Raiders.
Is that right?
Yep.
Shanahan has a steakhouse there. Have you been to steakhouse?
I've never been to a steakhouse. there.
Shanahan has a nice steakhouse in Denver.
I've been to Elway's though. Hey, what's up?
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Why did you just say, hey, what's up?
Because every time I see, there he is right there. Nick's looking at me. Every time I bring up the Broncos, I get the
The
I
what? From Nick?
Nick and AD.
Why did they get mad about
They
it?
gave you crap for it?
Oh, Nick's chiming in here.
Nick, what's the deal?
Here it comes.
Let's see if we can actually. Okay.
We just played the I believe it's from Coming to America where
Yes.
it's like, you must be crazy. It's just a thing that we do.
Oh, okay.
Because I find a
Because
way.
he talks about the Broncos nonstop. He
Hey, well, I'm
always
a
figures
Dolphins
out.
fan. How about that?
Well, I mean, but
Same thing
Jake, you're
happens here.
same thing, yeah. But you see, you're running all the boards and the
That's
buttons.
right. I am
so-
running the board. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, and what happens
Yeah.
sometimes too is it'll be out of nowhere, and something will spark me. Like when we were talking about Jim Leonard, the first thing that's going through my head is, oh yeah, he played for the Broncos at the end of his career, so stuff like that. That's what gets me in trouble. Is like I can,
Yeah.
or
Well, Ref, I'm the same way, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll always tie a current player if he's played with Miami. Like,
Yeah.
I'll always tie. Yeah, I'll always say I liked him or I didn't like him. in the
or
time.
like AD will say that I'll see like an orange and blue flower pot, and then the first thing I'll say is, "Oh, that's a
Broncos.
Denver Broncos flower pot." He'd be like, "No, it's just an orange and blue flower pot."
No, I do the same
There's
thing.
not
I'll go
orange
to-
and blue flower pots.
Well,
There's
every once in a while.
some of them out there. Okay, so yesterday, Raph, Mark Whipple was saying lots of things at the podium. One thing he said though was that he thinks, why can't Nebraska win the Big Ten West? Why can't they? The West is wide open. There's 6 teams tied at the top at 1-1. Wisconsin's not where they should be. Iowa's not where they should be. I mean, it's obviously something he said to motivate the team, but do you see it as an actual possibility, or are we just still getting too crazy after one win?
It is crazy that we're actually saying it just the way the season started. But even like last week, I was looking at the standings, and I was like, Nebraska theoretically can still win this.
Mhm.
They're not out of it. I mean, they're right there in the thick of things. And like the guy from the Milwaukee Sentinel, Patrikas.
Yeah, Jeff Patrikas.
He said he put his slips of paper in the hat and pulled one out. And that's kind of where we're at. There's no reason why Nebraska cannot step up and be a competitor and win the Big Ten West. I mean, you've heard it here first. It can happen.
Hold on. Do you recognize how odd this conversation
it's very
is?
strange. Oh,
Do you recognize how odd it is?
We went from complete.
You
light it
fired
all
the
on
head
fire.
coach.
You're
What would Frost be thinking right now? Well, what would he be thinking if Nebraska goes on to win the division with his guys?
Does he get a Big Ten West championship ring then?
I
Or
would not know. Do you see how odd that would be?
Yes.
it's wild.
Yeah.
But there's the possibility is there, and it's just a matter. Like I was talking last week, it's like at the end of the day, I just felt like Nebraska was getting maybe a little too complicated with football. But football is basically guy carries ball, you tackle guy with football. And last week, that was kind of the first game in a while where I actually saw that happened where it was like, it was just football, guy had ball, we tackled them.
Mm-hmm.
And this game this week, I was reading a little bit the Rutgers, press clippings and stuff like that. The way they're looking at it is they're going to they want to come up and rough up Nebraska. They want to make it, they want to hand off the ball to, I believe, Samuel Brown.
That's right.
Fifth.
Yeah.
They want to give
the fifth.
Is
that right? Seriously,
the fifth.
How about that?
And they just want to give Tillman, they just want to pound the rock all night. They think that they can dominate Nebraska physically. Well, my thought process is that plays right into Nebraska's strengths because, like Bill Bush said, they took the defense we're running right now is not super complicated. Go back, throw your cover one out there. If you have to, bring your safety up.
Mm-hmm. They did a lot of that.
Yeah, and
they play a lot of cover one.
That defense plays right into what Rutgers is running.
Yes, it does. Because they can't. They're not going to throw it.
Exactly.
They're not going to beat you through the air, probably. So you're right.
Yeah, stack that box up. If they're going to beat us, let them be the tougher team. But I like Nebraska's chances because when we get that running game going, that's key for Nebraska.
It won't be easy at Rutgers.
No, it won't.
It won't be easy.
But stick with it. If it doesn't work right away, just stick with it.
Listen to you, old man.
Yep.
Listen to you, old man.
I know. Old man football.
Old man raffle.
Yeah, listen to the old guys. Just stick with it like Osborne used to do, right?
Yep.
Just stick with it like Devaney used to do back in the day.
And if anything,
old man.
It'll bring up their safeties. Then that's when you get
hit him over the top.
You get Palmer over the top.
You got it.
But that's easy football. And like I said, I felt like we'd get too complicated when we're trying so much other stuff, trying to make something work.
Well, I think what you're referring to largely, and I think you're accurate, is it's become almost common knowledge that Eric Chinander was trying to do a lot. I think he felt that way because he was in his 5th year. He had that staff that had been together largely for 5 years. He had a lot of veteran players. And I think he thought he could really dial it up in terms of complexity. And what Bill Bush has done is scale it back and talked about getting a line, getting feet in the ground before the play. Something's very simple. I mean, that's you know what? That's Pee-wee stuff.
It's fundamentals, baby.
Yeah. Put Pee-wee ball.
And the same as
get your feet in the ground before the snap.
And the same is for the offense too. For a while, for the offense, like we are always saying, what is the identity of this offense? Because you never know. Because one second they'd come out and they'd be running, jet sweeps or something. And then they'd leave the jet sweep, and then you wouldn't see the jet sweep the rest of the game. And then they'd go to something else. They'd run their bubble screens for a while. Then and you're always like, what is going on here? Are we setting anything up? And it's funny. I always go back. It's like football is super easy if you want it to be. Jay Foreman says the same thing. Football is not a complicated sport. It's just sometimes people make it complicated. So,
I think it's complicated.
No,
Raph, I do.
Football.
No, I do. I think it's complicated.
Right.
I think there are elements of it that you can say are pretty basic and you can understand it.
Yeah.
But getting everybody working together and getting all the levers pulled correctly, there's a lot of levers and there's a lot of people involved. I think it's complex.
Greatest sport in the world.
That's true. Dang right.
Greatest team sport in the world.
Heck yeah.
All right. We'll pass the baton off to Raph and AD for the drive. For Steve Sipple, I am Jake Sorensen. See ya.
Yeah,
If you need to sell equipment and trucks, Ritchie Brothers' new Lincoln Satellite Yard lets you free up space at your property and get local access to all Ritchie Brothers auctions. Drop your equipment off and sell it online at any Ritchie Brothers auction, Iron Planet, or via Marketplace E. The yard is at 8801 US 6 Lincoln. It's secure and makes for easy in-person buyer inspections and pickup. Take advantage of this yard to sell at Ritchie Brothers' Great Plains Regional Auction, September 15th and 16th. For details, visit rbauction.com/Lincoln.
Wow. Did you ever save me money on my car?
Yes,